Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, organizational culture, at its core, the organizational culture is the blend of values, beliefs, and the practices that shape an organization's unique identity, right? So it's make each organization different, not just how it operates, but in how it feels to work there. So I already funding the research show the organizational culture goes beyond visible elements like a structure and procedures. It's also reflect interpersonal dynamic, how do people interact, how do people to communicate and support one another. So, in other words, it includes the emotional and also the social aspect of the work environment, which can have a powerful influence on employee motivation. All right, we are moving to the next slide. Okay, you can see positive organizational culture. I do not mention about the negative because I don't like to be a negative, so I choose to be a positive. So that's why I choose the positive organizational culture. Because a positive organizational culture foster well-being, engagement, and also high performance among employees. So when we talk about a positive culture, guys, we are referring to values and practices that create a supportive environment. Of course, encourage collaboration and respect individual contributions. Okay. So, if you say of or if you talk about positive organizational culture, you have to what is that we call it you make the key component about that so it will be happen. Okay, and the next slide will the answer. Okay, so here are okay here are some key components of a positive organizational culture. We have, you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have a 6 key components of a positive organizational culture. Okay, I will exploring one by one. So you can focus this on the key components. We have a 6, yeah. The first one is core values. Core values is about how decisions are made and set a standard for behavior. Okay, yeah, and then the second one is employee engagement. Employee engagement is actively involving employees in the meaningful work keeps them invested. And then open communication. Open communication, a culture that encourage honest dialogues, help build trust. Okay. If you want to be trusted by anyone, you have to be honestly, right? That's a simple example. And then the fourth is employee development. Offering learning opportunities show that the organization values growth. And then the recognition and rewards. It means acknowledging achievements motivates employees. And then see, I uh, I put the work-life balance at the last. Because why? I love this part, work-life balance. See, generation always talking about life balance, about the mental health, right? That's a phenomenon on this era. Don't worry, I will give my point of view about work-life balance on the second session. Okay, so work-life balance in this slide tells about supporting balance prevents burnouts and keeps employee energized. That's not easy, but it's possible. Okay, so each of these elements, yeah, 6 elements, plays a critical role in motivating employees and helping them value, and then company that prioritize this value see higher level of job satisfaction. Not only for job satisfaction, guys, but loyalty and also the productivity. Okay. So the next slide, please. This is the benefit of positive organizational culture. We have 4 points. Now, why? Why is having a positive organizational culture so beneficial? Okay, let us break down some key benefits. The first benefit is improve performance. Okay, it means employees in a positive culture are generally more motivated and productive, which improves organizational performance, right? And then the second one is better employee retention. So if you have a good and a positive culture, it will lead to higher employee satisfaction, reducing the turnover rates, and also employees feel a sense of belonging and are more likely to stay. In the human resource management context, it called engagement, loyalty. Okay, because we are know that to make people loyal, to make people have a sense of belonging and likely to say that's not easy, right? That's why you have to build your positive organizational culture. Okay. Okay, maybe now you just learning because this is a theory of human resource management. This is a theory about the behavior, organizational behavior. But in the future, you will facing the situation. You will be a leader. You will a part of your organization, and you will make a dynamical and what is that? The process with many people in front of in around you. That's why, okay, that's fine. Today you just learn about the theoretical, but in the future you will remember what we are talking about today. Okay. And the third one is higher innovation. Higher innovation is a supportive and collaboration environment, encourage creativity. Okay. When the employees feel safe to express ideas, innovation flourishes. Okay. So if you as employees can feel safe, you can more express your ideas, and then innovation will flourish, right? And the last one is good reputation. What is that, ma'am? Good reputation? Yeah, of course. Organization with a strong positive cultures gain a favorable reputation, which can attract top talent and build customer loyalty. Okay, so this is from my point of view. This is from my opinion. This benefit, guys, you can see again to your slide now. This benefit shows that investing in a positive culture is not just about keeping employees happy, right? That's not just about keeping your employees happy, but it's also about driving long-term success and sustainability. It's more important. Okay, it's also about driving long-term success and sustainability. Okay. As a human resource management, as a human resource developer, you have to know this point. Because not just only keeping your employees happy, but you have to drive long-term success and sustainability to your organization. Okay, let's move. Yeah. How many corporate that you can see in the slide? Bea Manuel. Bea Manuel, how many corporate shows in the screen? Or wait, a 5. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bea. We have a 5. Okay. Now that we have to explore what a positive organizational culture is, let's take a closer look at the same companies to have successfully implemented it. All right, these organizations, okay, I give you 5 examples. This organization demonstrate how values, practices, and employee engagement can shape a thriving workplace. Right. I will call the Filipinos here. Okay. Are you still listening me? Yeah. In the Philippines, the concept of bayanihan or communal cooperation is deeply embedded in the culture. So this tradition has made a strong impact. Yes, has made a strong impact, especially in the industry like the business process outsourcing or BPO sector. So employees in business process outsourcing companies often rely on teamwork and collective effort to overcome challenges, reflecting the spirit of bayanihan. I love this concept. So, for instance, guys, companies like Jollibee Incorporate, I have been there and then eaten the fried chicken there, and I love Jollibee so much, guys. I was in your country on the Mai, and then meeting with the Mr. Alfred, and then I eaten the chicken in the Jollibee. All right.
Yeah.
It's middle, yeah, it's middle like a McDonald's, right?
It's better than McDonald's.
Yes, correct. It's better than McDonald's. I correct with you. I love Jollibee. Yeah. For instance, companies like Jollibee Incorporate bayanihan principle to encourage team bonding and support among employees. This is not only strengthen their internal teams, but also improve customer service and adaptability in high stress situations. For foreign business operating in the Philippines, understanding bayanihan can lead to smoother collaboration and enhance morale among Filipino employees. Okay, so for my students from Philippines, are you familiar with the bayanihan concept, guys? Okay, yeah, I know bayanihan so well, right? I'm a Filipino right now. Okay, it's about Philippines. Now, can you imagine something like, okay, we are now in the Philippines, and then we imagining, oh, okay, we have a concept of bayanihan, and then we are moving to the Indonesia. Okay, in Indonesia, we we see a similar known as a gotong royong. Yeah, it's called gotong royong or mutual cooperation. Okay, so one prominent example is Gojek. Gojek is a big company like Uber, like Grab. You know, this similar with that, right? Okay, Gojek is a big company in Indonesia, a technology company that empowers its drivers and small business partners. Yeah. So Gojek, the green one you can see on the screen. Gojek's cultures emphasize teamwork and support, which reflects gotong royong. So this focus on community strengthens employee loyalty and motivates them to provide quality service to customer. And Gojek also known to promote innovation and allowing employees at all levels to contribute ideas, aligning with the collaborative spirit of Gotong Royong. So in this way, Gotong Royong not only supports internal morale, but also positions Gojek as socially responsible company, creating shared value for employees and the broader community. Okay, we are moving to the next company. I will call Casilda. Do you see the right corporate BCA? What is BCA, Casilda? Because it's a big company in Indonesia. Casilda, you there? Or Mudrika? Mudrika, what is BCA, Mudrika? Are you guys sleeping? Okay, I will call Wina. Wina, what is BCA? Wina. BCA is Bank Sentral Asia. Or Indonesia almost say Bank Capek Antri. So BCA is Bank Sentral Asia. Okay. BCA is one of the largest private banks in Indonesia. And we know BCA is a great example of a company with a positive organizational culture. It emphasizes the employee development, innovation, and customer-centric values. BCA invests heavily in training program and provides a supportive work environment, which help employees stay motivated and perform at their best. Okay, and then for instance, BCA leaderships ensures open communication and continuous learning opportunities, which build trust and loyalty among employees. If you come to the BCA, you can feel the atmosphere. It's comfortable. And then they have a good quality of services. You can feel it when you come to the door, and then you can see with the officer, and then you can feel the different atmosphere than another bank, right? And then we are moving to the Ayala. Yes, Ayala. I thought it's similar in the Filipinos because Ayala Corporation, one of the oldest and largest conglomerate in the Philippines. It's another example, right? So Ayala's culture around Ayala's culture, what we say, revolves around sustainability, innovation, and community impact. So they not only prioritize employee well-being, not only prioritize employee well-being, but also focus on creating long-term value for the society. Okay. For instance, their commitment to corporate social responsibility extends to initiatives that support education, healthcare, and environmental sustainability. So this effort motivate employees to align their personal values with the company's mission. So, I will bridging the two companies, both BCA and Ayala Corporation shows us that a positive culture is not just about internal operation, okay, but also how organization contribute to the large community, okay. So if you want to be a great and the big corporate that show the positive culture, you just don't thinking about your internal operation only, but you have to contribute to the large community. Okay, so this community, these companies are examples of how strong values and can enhance motivation, loyalty, and overall success. Okay. And then, okay, next session, next slide. Okay. Oh, I talked you already about the Bayanihan, right? Yeah, that's. I'm so happy because I can find two different words, but in the in the same meaning, Bayanihan and the Gotong Royong. Okay, next slide. Yeah. I choose this slide because if you want to know, yeah, for the Indonesian, if you want to know about the Bayanihan, yeah, traditionally Bayanihan is exemplified when neighbors come together to help move a house or assist someone in need. Although the physical act of moving a house is now rare, the spirit of Bayanihan remains alive in various forms, including responses to natural disaster or crisis. For instance, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Filipinos show solidarity by supporting affected individuals through donation and community aid, demonstrating how deeply this culture of mutual assistance is ingrained in the everyday life. Yeah, I love that concept. I love Bayanihan so much. And then you know, we in Indonesia, next slide. We in Indonesia has also about that concept. So this is the similarity in Indonesia and the Philippines. Okay, next, Gojek. I already talked about Gojek. Okay, so guys, if you want to come in Indonesia one day, you have to installing Gojek because when you go around, you can use Gojek or Grab to make it easier. Okay, next slide, Belia. Okay, so I have a simple theory. This is from Edgar Sains. This is a model of organizational culture. You can see I'm not talking about the theory, because if we learn about human resource management, it's literally full of theory, right? But the key important in our life, it's not just telling about the theory, it's not just learning about the theory, but we can compare it with the real situation, with the real concept, with the real condition in our lives, like in what it is in Indonesia, what is in the Philippines. So this theory can help you more know about the concept. Okay, you can see on the slide, guys. So one theory that explains intrinsic motivation self-determination theory, it emphasizes three psychological needs actually. So we have autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Okay, and then when these needs are met, employee are more likely to feel motivated and productive. A sportive organizational culture that values the need is a key. Okay, next. Yeah. Do you see the rope? It's connected one each other, right? So I call it connection. Okay. So, Mom Landry, what is the connection between organizational culture and employee motivation? Have you ever worked or studied in an environment where the culture made you feel motivated or supported? Maybe some students say yes, or maybe some students not yet. Okay. That's the power of a positive organizational culture. It's not just about the rules and policies, guys. It's just about creating a space where people feel value. Okay, so I will explaining the connection first. Okay, you still with me, right? Okay, I will explaining the connection. So organizational culture serves as the invisible hand that guides how people behave and interact in the workplace. And it influences whether employees feel inspired to innovate, collaborate, and excel. For example, in organization with open communication and recognition, employees often feel more motivated because their contribution are acknowledged and appreciated, right? Okay. So if you to be a part of your organization, I guarantee, I sure that you will what is that we call it? You will feel more motivated and then appreciate because your organization open the communication and the recognition, right? That's a simple way. And for that's the theory. Okay, that's the theory, right? We can learn on the real life example. Let's take the example of Jollibee in the Philippines. This company emphasizes teamwork and family values, reflecting the cultural principle of Bayanihan. So this motivates employees to support each other and work collectively towards success. Yeah, it's similar in Indonesia. Gojek, yeah, once again, I tell about Gojek, promotes gotong royong, fostering collaboration and innovation among employees. Okay, so what's the key point, Mom? The connection between culture and motivation boils down to meeting employees' psychological needs like autonomy, competence, and relatedness. When employees feel they have the freedom to contribute, the skill to succeed, and the support of their peers, their motivation levels naturally increase, right? We can feel it every day. When we facing the situation, we can feel it. Okay. So I will give you a simple point of view. Yeah. So strong organizational culture does not just set the expectation. Okay. This is not just the expectation, because this is the theory. Yeah, we know this is theory, but the strong organizational culture does not just set expectation. It creates a sense, a sense of purposes and belonging that drives motivation. Okay. By understanding the connection, organization can create environments where employees thrive. Right. Okay, next slide, Belia. Okay, this is another theory you can see, you can learn by yourself because this is similar in what we call it in our class. If you take the human resource management or the organization behavior, you always see this theory. Okay, I'm not telling about this. It's just for refreshing us about the theory because we already discussed about this theory. Next, please. Wait a minute. Okay. And now, okay. We are telling about understanding employee motivation. Some everyone has something that drives them to wake up and work every day, right? Correct? But what exactly keeps us motivated? You guys, uh, you have something that drives you to wake up and go to school every day, right? But what exactly keep you motivated? So let's break down into the intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Okay, so intrinsic motivation comes from within. It's when you do something because you truly enjoy it or find it meaningful. For example, uh, for me, as a lecturer, as a teacher who loves teaching because it fulfills my passion for sharing knowledge is intrinsically motivated. It's intrinsic, okay, because because it comes from my mind. And this type of motivation often leads to higher creativity and job satisfaction. Okay, it's intrinsic motivation, guys. Now we are moved to the extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, comes from external rewards like a salary, bonuses, or recognition. For instance, you might push yourself to complete a project on time because you think, wow, there's a bonus waiting. Wow, there's a recognition waiting. So I push myself to reach out, to achieve that. So while extrinsic rewards are effective, they often provide short-term result if not paired with intrinsic motivations, right? And then self-determination theory emphasizes the importance of autonomy, competence, and relatedness in fostering motivation. So organizational culture that support these psychological needs tend to cultivate more motivated and productive employees. So, Ma'am Landry, can you highlighting the balance? All right. So it is important to note that the best organization understand the value of balancing intrinsic and extrinsic motivators. So if you ask me now, Ma'am Landry, what is the best motivate for us? It's intrinsic or extrinsic? It depends. It's depending on guys. But important notes to the best organization understand. I'm talking about the organization or the value balancing is intrinsic and extrinsic because they provide financial reward but also create an environment, environment where the people or employees feel value and purposeful. Okay, so you can reach out or you can achieve your reward, but you don't have the good environment on your work life or your workplace. That's bullshit. Okay, because we need to feel comfortable with that, right? So the conclusion about this slide, guys, is understanding what motivates employee is the first step in creating a culture where the people thrive. So by addressing both intrinsic and extrinsic needs, organization can foster a motivated and engaged workplace. Okay, let's take a moment to comparative analysis. Okay, it's gonna be interest because to compare these two cultural models. In Indonesia, you can learn in Indonesia, guys. Indonesia tends to have a more hierarchical culture. Okay, hierarchical culture. But with companies like Gojek, we see a shift towards empowering employees and encouraging innovation. The Philippines emphasizes a collective and team-oriented approach where social relationships are highly valued. So in both cases, cultural values of play a crucial role in shaping how organizations foster motivation. By creating a sportive and collaboration culture, both countries offer models for building motivated and resilient teams. All right, next slide, please, Belia. Okay, so for the the conclusion and maybe key lesson, yeah, about our topic today. In conclusion, building motivation through organizational culture is a power strategy for success. By fostering a positive culture centered on the core values, open communication, and employee growth, organization can improve performance, retain the employees, and the boost satisfaction. Both Indonesia and the Philippines show us that the cultural values like gotong royong and bayanihan are not just tradition. Okay? They are not just tradition. You have to proud to be a Filipino and to be an Indonesian. Because gotong royong and bayanihan are not just tradition. They are effective strategies for creating motivated and dedicated employees. By adopting these cultural principles, local and international organizations can build environments where employees feel valued and inspired. So motivation is what is deeply connected to the culture. Yeah, I mean, motivation is deeply connected to the culture. Both gotong royong and bayanihan highlight the importance of collaboration and support in building motivated teams. If Mrs. Sarah learned about talking about the teams, teamworks, yeah, it's relate. It's relate with our topic today, right? Because gotong royong and bayanihan can support building motivated teams. So organization embracing their values, these values achieve better performance and innovation. And then the next slide is I just want to say yes. And the next slide, I just want to say thank you so much. And in in Filipino, we say salamat po. Is that correct? This is for one session, guys. Thank you for your attention. So I hope this presentation has highlighted the importance of culture in motivating employees and creating a strong organization. Do you have a question, or maybe you have the point of view of yours to discuss now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
I want to ask some question.
Mm-hmm.
Before I ask question, I want to introduce myself. My name is Syauki Wahidun Ramadan. My last
Mm-hmm.
name is 016.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask about what we do to keep that motivation and culture to people, because sometimes people keep that motivation and sometimes people give up on that motivation and culture. How to
Mm-hmm.
make that motivation still work for people, Miss?
Okay, that's a good question, Shauki. I do appreciate about your question. So, how to make motivation and cultures keeps on that on ourselves also. Okay, so if it's gonna be personally right, Shauki.
Yes, ma'am.
Because in Indonesia or in the Philippines, we have a many culture of us. Yeah. For example, in Indonesia, Shauki from maybe where you're from, Shauki?
I'm from Sumatra,
Oh,
Jambi
you're
City.
from Sumatra Island, and I'm from the Java Island, right? And then, but you mentioned about the culture about yours or about the culture in organization. I want to make it clear first.
About an organization, miss.
All right.
Ma'am.
Okay. Correct. All right. So to keep the motivation stable and the culture stable in what we call it in the organization, it's start from us, right? You cannot expect too many person in your workplace, but you have to build your motivation first. You have the intrinsic motivation. Do you still remember the theory talking about the intrinsic motivation? Okay, you have to build your intrinsic motivation first, and then you can help the organization culture to set the comfortable situation or the comfortable environment of yours of your workplace, because I know many people feels demotivated about the culture. I know, but sometimes we're not talking about the theory only, yeah, but it's a reality. If you're facing the situation that makes your motivation demotivation and the bad culture, uh the option only two. You just stay there, and then okay, you accepted all things there, and then you just quit, right? But if you still trust yourself, if you can change that, you stay there, and then you slowly can build yourself first, and then you have the many people around you to make the positive organizational culture. This is not just about the leader, this is not just about the environment, but the good vibe, the good environment, and the good what is that, workplace. It's from us. Nothing's perfect, and you do not have to be a perfect, right? But you have to find yourself, and then you set your intrinsic motivation first, and then comes to see the external or the extrinsic motivation, and then you show the culture, what is the culture work. If it's really disturbing you, it's really ruin you, or it's really bothering you, you have your own decision what you have to do about that. Okay, because I believe that person who engages in the organizational uh, has their own way and their own opinion about that. But about by the theory, we can see, we can build what is the ideal of our position of our organization to be something like that. Shauki.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. I understand.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. You have. I always say to my student, if you feel not comfortable in your situation in your organization, you have to feel comfort with yourself and then your one friend. Okay, because when you have a friend who supported you, you will stay, and then you can enjoy to keep moving forward with your situation, and then back to yourself, find your potential things, find your talent, and then find your way to keep it find something like that. Thank you so much. So anyone asking? No. Okay. Can we move to the next session? Okay. So because I really like to bring this topic to our class, guys, because what? You are the Z generation, the young people who will be a leader in the future, right? But we can see on the social media uh, that we have a big problem about the mental issues, about the life balance, slow living, and some condition about the young people in the world. And then I would like to share about the material. It's gonna be related on our life. Okay. Belia is laughing because, oh, Mom Landry, you tell about work-life balance. Work-life balance, fostering a motivational culture. But in the real life, you're not really balancing. But every people maybe can feel that. Same like with me. Okay, so I just what is that? Remembering you that you have to assign and then fill the form of attendance for today, guys. You can see on the chat box. Don't forget to take the attendance first because we have two attendance, yeah, on the first topic and the second topic. Okay. Right. For the next topic, okay. May I drink first? Because I'm thirsty. Wait a minute. 5. I'm back. Yeah. The next topic of for the second session is work-life balance, fostering a motivational culture. Maybe today you are not really related about this topic, but maybe 3 years later you will working and then you will remembering what we're talking about today. Okay, we are diving into a topic close to both our personal and professional lives. Okay. Uh, this is not just a theoretical concept, it's a way to create better lives of ourselves and for the people we work with. That's the point. As many of you, okay, uh, okay, many of you, the Philippines recently ranked near the bottom globally for work-life balance. But this is not just a statistic, guys. It's called to action. Yeah, it's called to action. Together, let's explore what this means and how we can do it better. So in this session, I aim to make topic but engaging and practical. We'll not only discuss theory, all right? You can learn theory in your home, in your bed, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, with your family, but also explore examples, real life strategies, and even have interactive discussion where your insight and creatively will play a key role. Okay, so let's get started. I encourage you to participate actively because your experience and idea matters as much as the concept we'll discuss. Okay, I would like to start the phenomenon. Okay, do you see? I already put the news between in Indonesia and the Philippines. You can see that. Oh, okay. I would call mm, um who? Oh, so many of you. Nicole. Nicole Bernadette. can you help me to read the Philippine news in the slide, in the screen? Nicole Bernadette, or Julian May from 3A. No. Frances Camille, would you to help me to read this news? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's a young people always to do. Okay, so I already put two news in Indonesia and the Philippines, right? So for the news, Philippines ranks second to last globally in terms of work-life balance. So this is a based on recent study that highlight how extended working hours and cultural obligation impact Filipino employees. So similarly in Indonesia, you can see on the right one, yeah, okay. Similarly in Indonesia, urbanization has led to longer commutes, making it harder for employees to balance work and personal lives. So this reality emphasizes that work-life balance is not just a personal challenge, it's an organizational issue. Yes. So if you feel I'm not work-life balance, and then the mental issues will show up. So this is not just a personal challenge, it's an organizational issue. So for this session, we'll discuss actionable strategies and example for address these challenges, helping organization create a more supportive and motivational culture. Okay. Okay. Work-life balance is not just a personal challenge, it's a global issue. It's global issue because not happen in Indonesia only, but it's happened in Philippines also. Interestingly, according to recent studies, the Philippines ranks second to last in the work of for a work balance. Okay, so maybe there are several reasons behind this ranking. For instance, long working hours are common, right? Between Indonesia and in the Philippines, long working hours are common. So, and then many employees face pressure from both professional and personal obligation. And then extended family responsibilities add to the challenge. So this situation, this situation is similar in many developing countries between Indonesia or in the Philippines also, where people often prioritize work over personal well-being. So however, this is not just a challenge, it's also an opportunity. By understanding the root causes, we can begin to address this issue and create better conditions to work-life balance in our communities and workplace. Now that we've seen the bigger picture, okay, let us discuss about what life balance actually means. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is the introduction to work-life balance. Work-life balance is about finding harmony between personal and professional commitment. Okay, it is not just about time. It's about well-being. Why is this important, ma'am? It directly impacts our mental health. I mentioned it before, right? So if you feel something trouble in your work-life balance, it directly impacts your mental health, impact your relationship, and even how productivity we are at work. Yeah, that's a big deal. If you feel balance, okay, that's a different things. Yeah, that's a different view. But if you feel balance, you are likely to perform better and feel more fulfilled. Okay. Let's dig deeper into why this matter. Next slide, please. Okay. Importance of a work-life balance. Why does work-life balance matter? First, it reduces stress and prevents burnout. Okay, if you're saying about work-life balance, work-life balance, work-life balance, and then you feel that your work-life balance, you can reducing your stress and prevents burnout. The second, it enhances job satisfaction, which translates to higher employee engagement and productivity. Okay, let me share some example, guys. In the Philippines, companies like Globe Telecom use regular employee surveys to gauge work-life balance satisfaction. This ensures employees feel heard and value. Feel heard, listening, yeah. Feel heard and value. In Indonesia, Telkom Indonesia runs community bonding activity that creates stronger personal connection among peoples, improving morale and loyalty. So this effort shows that when employees feel balanced, the entire organization benefits, right? That's why it's continuing about the Shawky equation. It starts from us. It starts from us. It starts from our mind. It's from ourself or our point of view. Because when you feel balanced, your entire organization benefits. Okay, next, please. And then you can see there why work-life balance matter for a motivational culture. Improve productivity, employees retention, and you can see the case study, for example, in the Philippines and Indonesia. I mentioned companies like Ayala or San Miguel Corporation. Oh, some people here, my student like San Miguel. San Miguel Corporation, which offer flexible work arrangement, and Indonesia reference companies that provide flexible workflow like a Gojek, known for prioritize employees' wellness. So I mean, I will give you my point of view about this slide. So without balance, employees often experience stress and burnout, right? Without balance, you often experience stress and burnout, which directly impact to your performance and your well-being. A balanced lifestyle reduces these risks and help individuals stay motivated in the long term. So you have to reduce that stress and prevent your burnout. And then don't forget to enhance job satisfaction, because when we feel or when the employee feel they have control over their time and commitments, they are more satisfied with their job. The satisfaction translates into higher engagement to the loyalty, right? And then boost productivity and creativity. Did you know that balanced employees are not only more productive but also more creative? So if you feel balanced, you are not only productive, guys, but you are coming more creative. Okay. Having time to recharge outside of work spark innovation and fresh idea when they turn. That's why I told to Xiaoqi, you have a one you should have one friend to support you in your workplace, and then you can go out together, you can enjoy the atmosphere outside. And then because if you feel the new vibe, the new things in your life, you can spark innovation and fresh idea, and then you can turn back to your workplace, you can more energize, something like that. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, still, huh? Okay, all right. So I give you examples, guys. Let's look at a couple organizations that excel in the promoting work-life balance. Okay. For example, Microsoft Japan's 4-a-day work week saw a 40% increase in productivity. But it's in Japan. Okay. In Indonesia and Philippines soon, we can we can feel it. And for another example is in Google, which emphasize employee wellness programs that directly improve creativity and satisfaction, offer flexible schedule, and encourage employees to take time off. If I just thinking, guys, I just thinking spontaneously, if global companies prioritize this, why should not we? Maybe it's not yet now, but you will be a leader in the future, and you can, what do you call it? And you can make it happen. You can make it more, what is that? More good, and then, yeah, more flexible. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, so we have a key factors of a motivational work culture. A motivational culture thrives when employees feel supported and recognized. That's an answer also to Xiaoqi, right? How to keep your motivates? Because your organizational or your workplace should support it and recognize you, and then it makes your motivate stay. Okay, that's why the motivational work culture say that motivational culture thrives when employee feels supported and recognized, right? Two key factors contribute to this: recognition and reward. Acknowledging employee effort boosts morale. For example, Filipino companies like Ayala implement structure reward system that motivate employees to perform better. And the supportive leadership, empathic leader make a huge difference. Indonesia companies often incorporate family-friendly policies. Yeah, okay, correct. You feel it, Indonesian here. Indonesian companies often incorporate family-friendly policies, such as allowing flexible leave for family events. Right. So by integrating these practices, organization can foster an environment where employees feel valued and motivated. Okay, next, Pelia. And how about the strategies, Mom? Okay, now let's look at strategies to foster work-life balance. We have two. Flexible working hours. Oh, but careful with the flexible. Yeah. Flexible working hours, it's mean about allowing employees to have flexible hours can help them manage their time more effectively. This approach is common in Indonesia larger city, where flexible hours reduce stress related to long commutes. Okay. And remote work option. Remote work option has become increasingly popular post-pandemic, correct? So post-pandemic, many big corporate increase the remote work phenomena because it gives employees the freedom to work from home and manage personal responsibilities. And I believe it's happened in Indonesia and also in the Philippines, right? There are still more remote work to the lecturer or maybe the employee, yeah. Because maybe remote work has helped employee maintain a balance, especially in what we say it in densely populated areas where commuting is a major cities. Okay, so how to implementing work-life balance policies, Ma'am Landry? To foster work-life balance, your organizations needs to formalize these strategies and ensure leaders support them. Is it easy, Mom? It is not easy. Yeah. To implementing work-life balance, it's not easy. But for me, it's possible, guys. Okay. Yeah, it's depend for the policies, it's depends for the leaders, it's depend about the system, and it's depends about the culture that what we're talking about in this first session, right? So this is related, guys. If you talking about culture, if you talking about leader, if you are talking about the system, if you are talking about the policies, if you're talking about the motivation, it's gonna be related to your work-life balance. Yeah. And how to implementing it? First thing is make sure your organization needs to formalize these strategies. This is not easy, but it's possible. Okay, because for example, Globe Telecom in the Philippines tracks employee satisfaction and adjusts policies back based on the feedback, right? Okay, next, please. Okay, so implementing work-life balance in the workplace, setting clear boundaries, encouraging break and times off. Okay, you can see there, the red one, the green one, and the purple one. The red one say that helps employees create boundaries between work and personal life. And the encouraging break and the time promotes the importance of taking breaks and utilizing vacation time. Okay, now I would like to imagining again. Okay, let's think about your future workplace. You just close your eyes and then you imagining right now, because yeah, you still studying here, you are still student, but we can try now. You imagining yourself and let's think about your workplace. Okay, have you closed your eyes? Right. And then I'm questioning you guys, between Filipino and Indonesian, my student, my lovely student here, I'm questioning you. If you be a manager, which initiative would you prioritize to improve your work-life balance? Flexible schedule, remote work, or regular wellness activity? You have to answer by yourself, in your heart, in your mind, and then just thinking it. Okay? You have to imagining it, because if you want to be a leader, you have to prepare it by yourself first. Start from now. Okay? If you want to feel the work-life balance, you have to set your mind, start from now. Okay? Once these initiatives are in place, how do we ensure they are successful? In the next slide, we will explore methods to measure the impact of work-life balance program. Okay. The measuring, it's only two, right? Employee satisfaction survey and turnover retention rates. We've just explored some strategy for fostering work-life balance, but strategies are only effective when implemented correctly. Oh, okay. You cannot feel that if you still make it just strategies. You have to implement it correctly. All right. Now let's discuss how to turn these ideas into actionable steps in the workplace. The first step is understanding what employee need. If you be a manager, if you be a leader, a top management, top leader, you have to understanding what employees need. Not all workplace are the same. Okay, highlight this. Not all workplace are the same, and neither are employees' needs. For example, some may prefer flexible working hours. Okay, some may prefer flexible working hours. Other might value opportunity for remote. Okay, other might value opportunity for remote work. A workplace survey can be a great tool to gather this information. So the implementation requires clear communication between leaders and employee. This includes explaining the change and their benefit. For example, it introducing a flexible hours. Employees need to understand how the schedule will be managed to avoid disruption and something like that. Okay, next please. And this is the challenges. Yeah, this is the challenges in maintaining work-life balance. Challenges differ across country. In the Philippines, extended family obligation often require employees to juggle multiple roles. In Indonesia, urbanization has increased commute times, reducing the time employees can spend with their family. To overcome this challenge, organization can implement policies like remote work or flexible hours to give employees greater control over their schedule. Okay. Now we are moving to the next slide, Belia. And then, yeah, strategies for promoting work-life balance. Your organization can implement several strategies like remote work opportunity that I said before, providing mental health resource. That's a big issue, guys. That's a big deal if you're not trying to provide mental health resource. And the flexible working hours, but don't forget, be careful with the flexible, because in some organization, flexible is not literally flexible in that means words, but flexible it's mean like you have to do in the weekend. You still working on the weekend. It's flexible, but it's depending on your working place. It's not same for all working place. And then encouraging regular breaks, right? Next. Yeah. Benefit of work-life balance. Increase employee motivation. So how to make my motivation keep Mom Laundry like Xiaoqi told me? Yeah, you have to set your work-life balance, Xiaoqi. Yeah, and then they can work-life balance can improve our mental health. Okay. Many issue, many problem in several countries in Asia about the young people. I'm not I'm not saying detail here, but you can see on the social media that many young people that not love their life and then end this life because they cannot improve mental health. They cannot find out the motivation. They cannot make their life balance. They cannot find the person or the friends who can listening them. Okay. And that's a big issue in our situation right now in this era. And then the higher retention rates and enhanced team collaboration. Okay, next. Okay, this is the circle, yeah, the challenges, difficulty in setting boundaries. Despite the benefit, many employees face challenges such as heavy workloads. It's gonna be serious, guys. If you heavy workloads, your work-life balance cannot be happened. Okay, and then you have few workloads, and then you lack of support of your from your management. It's double kill for me. Yeah, for my opinion, it's gonna be double kill. You heavy workloads, and then you lack of your support from management. Ooh, that's a big issue. That's a big problem. So that's why you have to know from now. You have to set yourself right from now to avoid this situation. Next. Okay, for the conclusion before I end the session. So promoting work-life balance is not just a trend. It's not just a trend. Yeah. You know what I mean, right? Work-life balance is not just a trend. It's a necessity. It fosters a motivational culture that benefits both employees and organizations. With supportive leadership, flexible policies, and continuous feedback, companies can create a culture where employees feel balanced and motivated. Okay, that's not just about the salary. That's not just about the bonuses. That's not just about the recognition. But the culture in your organization can make the balance and motivate. It's more than enough. Okay, and then the salary and the bonuses will following about that. And in the conclusion, work-life balance is more than just a concept, guys. It's a critical factor for fostering a motivational culture. By addressing challenges and implementing supportive policies, organization can create environment where employees thrive both personally and professionally. Yeah, thrive both personally and professionally. Let's take the lesson and apply them to make meaningful changes in our workplace. So I encourage each of you to think about one change you can make or suggest in your workplace to improve your work-life balance. Whether it's a small adjustment to your routinity or advocating for flexible hours, every step counts. Okay, so for that, it's at the end of my presentation about work-life balance on the second session. Thank you for your attention, and I love to be here and then meet with you guys, my student from Mariano Marcos State University and Universitas Sarjana Wiyata Taman Siswa for this special event. Thank you so much for your attention, guys. Do you have any question? Or are you sleepy listening my voice?
I want to ask you, Miss.
Yes, Nutrika.
Okay, Miss, if you have a problem.
Nutrika, I think your signal that's not stable right now. Yeah, okay. Try on. Mudrika, you
Okay.
there?
Yes.
Huh?
If you have problems in your workplace, how do you face and its problems? Because sometimes when we have a problem, we will feel afraid to solve it as if we are afraid of adding more problems. That might be that's your strategies that you provide will be motivation for us in the future to be brave in taking action when facing problems at work.
All right, all right. Don't be rushed. Relax. Okay. Only that, Mudrika?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for questioning me. So, how Miss Landry to make a work-life balance in my workplace? Fairly loving and listening that because, everybody has their personality, right? Has their own character. That's a differences from another people one and another, right? For me, if I feel stress and then I have to make sure my work life balance, I just do something what makes me happy. All right. My close friend already know about me, what I'm doing to do to make my happy, like eating delicious food, traveling, and then talking with my friend who I can trust them, and then doing something that make me more relaxed. That's a simple thing because guys, you cannot expect you cannot expect the good situation, full good situation as your wish to your workplace. But you can create your own happiness by yours, by your own, by your own self. I feel stressed right now. Yeah, I feel stressed. Yeah. But I look into myself, what I have to do, what I supposed to do. Okay. After this, we Indonesia call it healing. Yeah. Healing in the cafe. And then I buy a cup of black coffee. And then I drink coffee. I listening the music who can help me out from the stress. If you feel stressed, don't listening to sad music. It can ruin your brain, make your mood more bad. But you can go out with your friend and then do something that you make you more happier, and then eat what you want to eat, or maybe sleeping can solve any problem, yeah, because we are tired, and then you can sleeping there. But if you still cannot go out with that situation, you just quiet and take it slow down, because don't be more reactive. Don't be more reactive. You just take it down slowly and just thinking, okay, if I do this, it will be impact this. If I do not this, it will be impact this. Always any option about that. So make sure you knowing yourself first, what you like to do if you are in the stress situation. And then once again, you cannot expect, but you can get one friend in your workplace to saying about, to telling about, and to discussing about many things. But make sure your friend can help you, right? You can trusted them. Okay. And then you can go traveling there. Traveling is not go far. It's not going to abroad. You can traveling in the some place it's near from you. You're not just buying anything. You just feeling the or breathing the new vibe, the new atmosphere. It makes me you help make you more happy. I think. But come again, yeah, back again to your motivation to work. It's always any problem in our organization, in our workplace. It's always facing the problem because dynamic, because we are connected with people, not with things. Yeah, we are connected with people, with dynamic, with the different background, different point of view, different opinion, something like that. And then we cannot be the people pleasure of them. We cannot push them to agree with our opinion, right? So that's why you have to make sure you be a good quality in your workplace. And then when you're facing the stress situation, you have to know yourself first, and then you find the way how to out from your stress, or how to release your stress without disturbing many people in around you. I think like that. Mudrika.
Miss. Okay, Miss, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, my dear. Okay. Oh, already, it's almost 3. Oh, okay. Because I enjoy this class, so I can feel it's almost 3 p.m. Okay, any question, guys?
I have one question, Miss.
Yep. It's Dimas, right?
Dimas Ferdiansyah.
Oh, okay.
The question is, what role does support from family and friends play in helping individuals achieve work-life balance? That's the question.
Okay. Yeah, of course, the family situation can make our or create our motivational in life, between in our personal life or in our workplace life, right? So it's important things. But once again, I I want to make I want to help you to not being a personal who expect all things from external, who always expecting from this and that, because the problem is coming to yours, right? And the problem will resolving by yours. It depends our minds. If I have a family who can support me and then make my motivate more increase and then blah blah blah, it's a bless. But how if I do not have a family who can support me? You can support yourself. It's back to your personal. You can find the support system not only from your family, but from you, from your friend, from your environment, right? It's come from your mindset. If you say they are not support me, I feel down and then blah, 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 you will feel down forever. But if you change your mind, okay, I don't have any support from my family, and then I have to change my life because I need that. I will more better than my life before. I will rush myself to make it better. So it depends our mind. If you ever read the book about The Secret, yeah, the title is The Secret. It's the power of the mind. The universe sent us the energy. So we live in the energy in the universe, right? We eat from the universe, we drink from the universe, we breathe from the universe. So the book says the situation will come in our life. It depends our minds. If you say I can't, it's impossible. And it will come to can't and impossible. But if you say, okay, I'm motivated, I have my work-life balance, I am a great one, I I'm happy. I can do many things. I can be trusted. I can fix many problems in front of me, and then it will be changed. It's not theoretical. It's by my experience, spiritual experience. Yeah. So if you do not have support from your family, don't worry. You have your own. You have yourself, because God sends you in this world with the mission, and you have to complete your mission, right? So yeah, I know the family situation can build our motivation, can build our experience, can build our personal life. But if it not happen, don't worry. You still have yours, universe, and God to fix your problem. Okay, Dimas.
All right. Thank you, Miss.
I think it's motivational session, not lecturing series. But maybe we can talk more in the cafe or in the restaurant. Oh, maybe I will come to the Philippines, maybe on the March, so can meet with you guys, because yeah. I really like to discuss the special things like this. Okay, any question, guys, before we are ended the session? Or enough? I think you are sleepy, right? Or you are hungry? Or you need to go with your partner? Enough?
I have class, Miss.
You must? Okay.
Yeah. I have class.
No. Yes, Dimas. Oh, enough. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you so much, guys. So is it enough for our lovely session? Okay. I think it's good enough because you are committed to join this session, almost 2 hours. That big appreciation for you guys. Thank you so much for joining this class. I'm sorry for some mistakes, for some point of view that's maybe bothering you, but we can tell more out from the class as a friend. Yeah, that's always I do with my students. Okay, thank you so much for your attention from the students, MMSU and then UST. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Okay, I think it's enough, Sir Alfred.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay, so
Thank you, ma'am. I'm looking forward for enjoying the coffee
all right.
together.
Wait for me on the cafe, right? Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon. Be safe always, guys. Yeah. And then, yeah, have a success and stay healthy. Don't forget to be grateful for all your things to do in life. Thank you so much. See you in another class. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you.
Alfred.
Thank you, Mr. Andre. Thank you. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you. Oh, don't forget to attendance, please, in the chat box.